Hello, everyone. I all hope you had a very, very wonderful, blessed weekend and a very, very great day indeed, guys. As you can see, guys, today's weather is very, very completely, literally cloudy and solely unpredictable, which is completely unknown as well. Despite that, guys, I'm so superly grateful for your support in watching my episodes and my videos from shorts and from TikTok and from long videos as well. And from those of you who are also subscribing as well, it completely means a lot to me. May you all have a blessed day and a great day. And may God bless you and protect you and keep you happy and keep you safe as well. Totally superly grateful for your support, guys. Completely means a lot. Never forget it. Shorts, YouTube, and TikTok, and long videos. And those of you subscribing, have a great blessed day. Take care, and I love you all so much. On today's episode, we're to speak about the Space Sisters, who are a group of powerful dark witches and who are very devious and very ancient and very powerful, who have their own long-term goals and long-term plans of their own to conquer and rule the sacred magical worlds and the entire sacred magic universe with the rest of the sacred magic dimension and the known worlds and the known universe and the sacred universe for themselves as well to further their ultimate goals and plans so that they can remain the sole rulers of the sacred magic universe and of the known worlds as well in the process. They also were as former associates of the ancient powerful primordial force of evil known as the Fallen during the ancient times, if you guys didn't exactly know. So they were very quietly, strictly associated with him, and they decided to help him with these goals and with these higher goals and with these long-term plans and goals as well in a process so that they can easily benefit from it as well in as also they can easily actually benefit from this, so they can all easily actually benefit from the goal, so that they can all easily actually benefit from his goal, so they can also exactly benefit more greater ultimate unlimited resources in order to fulfill their long-term goals and their long-term plans in the process as well. So let's begin. During the primordial ancient times, the Space Sisters were very ancient and were very less ancient, very powerfully less ancient and very powerfully less dangerous and very deadly dark witches with great power and with great dark magic powers and great abilities given granted by them and also extremely given to them as well, and with the extremely power of immortality, which made them exceptionally dangerous and very deadly. During the ancient times, the space witches began creating powerful dark crystal technologies, highly advanced technologies of crystals and dark magic powers and abilities all in one rate in order to help the ancient rogue Formation Hunter the dark ancient Formation Hunter known as a Fallen to complete his mission and his goals. During which on those times the Fallen provided the Space Sisters with endless limited dark knowledge and dark forbidden techniques of how to control and utilize shadow energy and dark magic and dark powers and abilities as well at that rate. During which in those times the Space Sisters began adapting and began seriously evolving as all exactly bear the power of a magical staff of their own, which can also enhance their powers and their abilities in one full swoop. After the Fallen was quietly banished within the ancient times, the Space Sisters continued with a secretive operation in manipulating secretive wars, in manipulating the sacred dark wars of magics, in manipulating the sacred dark wars of the sacred magical worlds in a process for them to actually remain operating in the shadows of the sacred magic universe so that they can also benefit from the technologies of the from they can also benefit from the evil aliens technology, so that they can also easily benefit from the evil aliens technologies and a highly advanced operation where they started making powerful ancient sacred pacts with powerful alien entities and greater monsters with greater dark monster entities in order for them to help them and assist them with a common interest of their goal. During which the following centuries and the following years, the Space Sisters continued to manipulating events, orchestrating wars and battles and highly events in order to make sure that the original Lord of Magic remained in power. They were secretly in communication. They were secretly in communication with the Mind Sisters, during the Great Ancient Century, where they easily provided each other with great information and with great resources at the time in order for them to further their goals and their interesting goals in the process, which they began helping sinister ancient organizations which they began actually helping sinister ancient elite criminal organizations to further their long-term plans and their goals in the process, which they will solely actually benefit from this as well. During those times, the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders exactly came to the Space Sisters for more powerfully, highly equipped, adaptable technology for their own useful for their own ambition, for their own dark ambition, and for their own sinister plots and plans as well in the process. So regardless of that, the Space Sisters slightly helped the Shadow Empire warlords further their own plans and their own goals and their own mission in the process, so that their plans and their own goals can successfully bear fruit as well, which will also pave a way to rule the entire sacred magic universe in a process. During which, in those times, the Space Sisters waged war against the warlocks, witches, druids, fairies, and fairy witches, and fairy wizards, and fairy witches, and wizards, and witch hunters, and guardians, and powerful light magic users who are able to store or trying to stop them from furthering their sinister goals and their plan. As the Space Sisters realizes that their foes and their enemies have become highly powerful and too dangerous in order for them to underestimate them, they decided that the logical way for them is for them to purposely exactly retreat and drive away from the battle once and for all. That is where they decided to completely vanish and to disappear. The rest of the ancient coven of their sisters and the rest of the dark sisters or witches known as the Space Witches decided to split up from the coven and go their separate ways, and the others decided to do the same, while the others decided to remain the exact same way decided to remain the exact same way of the ancient coven. During which, in the following centuries, in the following centuries and years of the sacred wars that continue to go on, the Space Sisters continue to monitoring the wars and the battles and the events that continue to go on, as by secretly manipulating the events to their advantage in order to further their long-term plans and their goals and their sole mission and their purpose in the process, so that they can remain the sole rulers of the sacred magic universe by any means necessary and at all cost as well. On the 15th of February, when the Universal Heroes quietly disappeared due to a powerful cosmic explosion, when they were fighting a powerful sinister force of evil greater than theirs, the Space Sisters all exactly began to reconvene as they were all in disguise in their shadowy holographic figures, and they're all exactly in disguise in their shadowy holographic figures in order to conceal their identities from the operatives and from any agents that they quietly associated with. They all exactly were in perfectly disguised in the shadowy misty cave, where they all exactly decided it's best that they actually all of them exactly decided in order to find a way to further their plans and their potential and to further they discussed the way to further their plans and their future goals and the next step of their greater plans and to furthering the future plans and their goals in the process, which is where they all agreed, as in they were all in the shadowy holographic shadows of themselves, where they were all able to exactly meet in a dark and misty cave where the base of location is literally undisclosed and literally completely hidden from the operation eyes as well. On the 25th of March, the Space Sisters exactly reconvene again on a different crystal laboratory cave, where they were all exactly meeting up in the same way with their holographic shadows of themselves as way. This time, one Space Sister summoned a powerful dark an ancient monster statue of their own, an ancient monster statue that had four arms, that had literally four arms and everything else, where the leader began to explain to the rest of her sisters that with this type of forbidden power, they will be able to control the sacred magic universe and all that lives through it, and the universal heroes would never even stand a chance against it all, as the leader of the Space Sisters began to tell her sisters that as well. On the 29th of April, the Space Sisters began began their assault on the other secret magic college of powerful great warlocks and wizards that were all exactly working together, where they began exactly extracting magical energy, mind magical energy from the crystals of the magic school, where the space sisters began attacking the magic school of mind controlling and a psychic magic mind controlling of deception. The wizards and the warlocks banded together to fight these powerful, dark, ancient, devious witches, and they began exactly banding together to fight them. But the Space Sisters proved to be too powerful and they proved to be too deadly as the witches triumphed in a battle and managed to psychically grab control of the college, placing it under their sole control, and they managed to win the battle against the warlocks and the wizard of the colleges and managed to place them under their sole mind control, telling them that they are the ones and they are the sole rulers and that they answer to them directly. The mind control wizards and warlocks agreed to that they answer to the space witches, as agreed to that as well. On the 29th of May, the Space Sisters exactly reconvene again, and this time in a personal, face-to-face personal, as there were only four space sisters able to reconvene on a crystal dock, which on a crystal dock school of witches, where they all exactly to reconvene on an ancient, powerful, beautiful flower, where they began exactly pouring out the energy and power into the beautiful flower, where the flower grew into a powerful, dark, a momentous wooden tree of dark and powerful fruits of magic, which were quietly purple fruits, and each space sister took one fruit and exactly ate from the fruit as it began to develop new forbidden power and extremely fast immortality rate that gave them greater fast thinking and prior more intellect and knowledge than ever before, as well as they all agreed that their powers are getting stronger and are highly adapting and are highly evolving in a faster rate. The place that they were able to reconvene is a very powerful ancient college of dark witches and dark wizards, and it's full of dark crystals and everything else. And the dark wizards and the dark warlocks and the dark witches were able to conceal the location of the dark school of. They were able to conceal the college of darks. Were able to conceal the dark. Were able to conceal the dark college of dark warlocks and dark wizards and dark witches with a powerful hidden dark magical glamour of a spell which keeps it hidden and protects it from any intruders or any unwanted intruders, which is quietly within the sacred magic enchanted forest, but in a different location where it's quietly protected by dark, powerful, invisible magic, and its location is still unknown as well. On the 20th of June, the Space Witches exactly continued their secondary rampaging campaign in conquering many other magical schools across the sacred magic universe. But this time, the Universal Magic Heroes and Universal Magic Girl were able to intercept the powerful witches and exactly fought up against them. The battle lasted for 2 days until the witches exactly realized that the Universal Magic Heroes and Universal Magical are too powerful and are too deadly for them to exactly attack them, as they decided to retreat and teleport themselves away, retreating back to the same college they actually were able to go back to as well. On the 25th of July, the leader of the Space Witches told the Dark Warlocks and the Dark Wizards and the Dark Witches why they didn't exactly inform them of the new mysterious obstacles and the new developments of the sacred universe and of the sacred world's new mysterious obstacles. The Dark Witches and the Dark Warlocks exactly told the Space Witches of the Universal Heroes and the Universal Magic Heroes and the Four Nation Hunters of the Intergalactic Coalition are very highly resourceful and are too deadly, and their skills and their powers and their intellects all combined and merged into one makes them too dangerous for anyone else to face up against them, which makes their abilities extraordinary, exceptionally powerful, especially when they all work together, makes their bond very, very powerful. The leader of the Space Witches was able to gain a very powerful incentive idea and a very clever idea, listening to the Dark Witch and listening to the Dark Warlock and the Dark Wizard telling her that the Universal Heroes and the Universal Magic Heroes and the Four Nation Hunters of the Intergalactic Coalition work together through their bond of love and friendship, and she was able to gain an understanding that it could easily benefit her, that could also easily work to her advantage as well. On the On the 28th of August, the leader of the space witches was able to reconvene with the other space, with the other space sisters, on an ancient crystal cave, this time in person, where they all exactly binded their hands together as a powerful dark energy of dark magic surge literally crossed through them as their hands were all binded together, and a powerful dark magical bubble was created through all of them as they traveled into the dark dimension where there were ancient powerful dark trees and powerful dark monsters and creatures and beings on the other side. After that, they found another ancient dark magical spell of they discovered another ancient powerful dark orb of dark magic and power and an unlimited energy of shadow energy and of the power of dark magic that became pure energy in its darkest and powerful form. And they used their powerful steps and energy to absorb the energy and its power by binding themselves together. In doing so, they became more powerful and more very much more dangerous and very imminently more powerful as the leader of the Space Sisters began to become very much ruthless and solely merciless to begin her mission as well. On the 29th of September, the Space Sisters reconvene again on a powerful dark crystal cave, this time in the shadowy holographic figures, where the leader of the Space Sisters began to tell the others that their plans can now finally go to place. It's just that they have to test one little thing before they can easily make a one big mistake in understanding the enemy's power and the compassion against one of them, which could work to their benefit. As the other Space Sisters seemed quietly reassured, they all agreed that it's the best directive approach in order for them to actually take. On the 19th of October, the Space Sisters exactly hovered upon the other worlds and planets within the asteroid base as the leader of the Space Sisters and the rest of the other Space Sisters began conducting a very dangerous dark magical scientific ritual with a dark magic power where they harnessed the power of the dark crystals and of its energy in order to try and to destroy the other alien worlds and superhuman worlds in a process to wipe them out completely and this time permanently. But before they can do anything else, the Four Nation Hunters and the Universal Magic Heroes and the Universal Founders arrive just in the nick of time to prevent the tragedy from going any further, and they fought against the battle up against the devious evil Space Sisters and literally tried to stop them from wiping out and destroying more planets and more worlds in the process. The leader of the Space Sisters fought again with the Universal Magic Girl. This time, both of them were evenly matched as their powers and abilities in a dark magic and light magic were evenly matched against each other. And the leader of the Space Wishes was very proud and very graciously proud of how Universal Magic Girl rose to the occasion, and she literally teleported away. And the rest of the other Space Witches try to destroy the asteroid base, which they did exactly destroy the asteroid base, covering up anything of the existence, which they all teleported away and left the asteroid base to be destroyed as the Universal Magic Heroes and the Four Nation Hunters and the Universal Founders left as the asteroid base and all its scientific properties and dark magic properties and abilities and everything else was destroyed to dust, and the base exploded and all the worlds were saved before they were even furtherly destroyed in the process as well. On the 20th of November, the Space Sisters reconvene again, this time in a different cave where they were all able to meet in person to person, like face to face, and this time they were all exactly at the hands of the monster statue as each dark witch of the Space Sisters began exactly conducting a very sinister ritual in order to begin the monster statue's ritual and its power, unleashing its forbidden power. They begin testing it on a powerful dark warlock as they began exactly drawing out his dark magic powers and ability into the monster statue as nothing of the as something from the monster statue mouth came out was nothing but a terrifying dragon was nothing but a terrifying ghost dragon of a monster of monsters that literally came out and literally began extracting the dark magic and powers from the devious evil warlock, as the space sisters seemed very happy that the ritual did exactly take 5 days or 4 days in order for them to seal in the dark magic within a monster statue, but they realized that it was worth the waste. It was worth the wait, no matter what exactly. On the 28th of December, the space sister was able to go back to her central headquarters, meaning to her dark magical world and planet, where she was able to where they able to successfully able to rule it and conquer it with an iron fist, where there are many dozen of space sisters and rogue evil warlocks, witches, druids, and powerful warlords and rogue shadow empire warlords and commanders who are all able to understand the evil, powerful, tyrannical rule of an evil monarch of powerful, dark, ancient, devious witches that were quietly under the ruling and under their great authority as well. Despite that, the leader of the space sisters, was able to meet up with the mysterious, shadowy figure who was sitting within the tower's shadows, and exactly told the space sisters that they did everything that they exactly were told to do, and the plans are still going accordingly the way they have to do. Despite that, the mysterious shadowy figure told the leader of the space sisters that it's time for the operation to keep advancing on, meaning to the next phase of the plan. And the leader of the space sisters completely agreed with that as well. On the 26th of January, the leader of the space sisters began exactly summoning everyone else to the shadowy holographic figures, when they were able to reconvene on a different location, where they're all able to reconvene on a different base of location of operation within a secluded dark crystal cave, where they were all able to reconvene, and this time in the shadowy dark holographic figures. And the leader of the space sisters told the new members of the space sisters that the plans and the operation always come first, and that underestimating the universal heroes and the universal magic heroes and universal magic girl and the universal founders and the intergalactic coalition of the 1400's abilities in thwarting the operation should never happen again, as they learned the last time that these heroes are too powerful and are too dangerous, and that never again it should never happen again. As the other newest member of the space sisters agreed with that this time they should never repeat the same failings and the same mistakes, that they should move forward with the plan that they've been entrusted with, as they all agreed to that as well. After months since their last meeting of them reconvening on the 25 of January, since they last convened, from after there was no news of the space sisters or the dark witches of the dark space witches of the space witches attacking or anything else from February to March until April, May. There were no news of them. They were like this. It's like they completely vanished and disappeared, and the entire sacred universe and the rest of the magical creatures were well prepared and well fortified to preparing for any assault or any attack or any ambush from the devious evil ancient space witches. But none of them actually appeared, and none of them actually heard. The Universal Magic Heroes and Universal Magic Girl exactly told the rest of her colleagues that the Space Sisters are too powerful and are very ambitious and are too clever and are very too intellect, that they weren't able to actually be heard of again, or not exactly to be misheard, or not exactly to be heard of, or exactly to be seen again. It means that they're planning something big, or rather coming with a very dangerous, sinister plan that could end all of the entire sacred world and the rest of the sacred magic universe, or the known magical worlds, or the rest known of the magical worlds, or the sacred dark magical wars in the process, which they could solely benefit. And that would actually mean grave danger for all of them and for the entire species as well, as they all completely agreed that is exactly the very greatest bad thing that is actually literally coming, as they all exactly came to terms with that. On the after from February to March and April, May, June, July, and after from the 26th, the leader of the space witches was able to remain through her dark conquered worlds and planets that were heavily protected by dark magic and invisibility power, where she was able to remain with her staff, looking up on top of the skies and looking up on the other magical creatures and beings that were quietly being ruled under her control and under her throne. The rest of her sisters exactly told her that they should begin the next phase of the plan. as she exactly told them that they should wait a little bit longer in order to study the circumstances of the Sacred Galactic War as well. On the 15th of September, the leader of the Space Sisters went to meet up with the new Lord of Magic, known as Lord Clay, who's a founder and leader of an ancient, shadowy, elite criminal organization known as the Order of Death, where they were able to exactly meet up on an ancient dark crystal temple where its base of location it's unknown and literally undiscovered. Despite that, Lord Clay was very quietly optimistic to meet up with the leader of the Space Sisters, as he exactly asked her what is he willing to get from them partnering together. The Space Sister, the leader of the Space Sisters, actually tried to tell Clay that now that Jet has more powerful allies and dangerous partners that are working with him, he's become more powerful and very much truly, totally powerful and greatly, totally powerful and literally untouchable, which makes him the most dangerous, powerful leader and master of all the sacred magic histories books, even during the era of the previous original Lord of Magic, that he's rising to his ascension of power and he's rising to his full name and reputation. Despite that, Clay exactly believed the leader of the space, which is what the Space Sister is actually saying, and he still asked her what is he willing to gain from them partnering to each other. Itachi was able to gain more powerful knowledge and greater inceptible knowledge, as he was able to gain more powerful dark limited resources and more greater assistance than ever before, which could benefit them greatly both as well in the process. Clay decided to accept the partnership in one condition, is that their associates must always remain in contact with one another so they can easily share information and greater knowledge. The leader of the Space Sisters told Clay that she has many powerful, dangerous operatives at her beck and call, and so did Clay, who also told her that he also has powerful, dangerous operatives and very powerful, sinister, ancient criminals who are also at his beck and call for his organization, which could also help her and him in the process as well to furthering their long-term plans and their goals. Clay also told the leader of the Space Sister that I hope that she learned her lesson from confronting against the Universal Magic heroes and the Intergalactic Coalition of the Four Nation Hunters, learning the hard way that their abilities can't be literally underestimated or undermined in a very, very different circumstances. The leader of the Space Sisters exactly told Clay that she definitely learned the hard way and that she was able to gain a very powerful perspectivity from learning from her enemies, encountering, and from her past failings as well. And that won't happen again. As Clay seemed quietly reassured of that, they exactly began shaking hands as they began to remark of their new partnership and of the association together, as now that things are finally beginning to go according to plan the way they're meant to be as well. On the 22nd of October, the leader of the Space Sisters began to reconvene with the other members of the Space Sisters, this time on an ancient, powerful, shadowy crystal temple in a holographic figures, where she exactly told them that they have now been partnered up with the ancient criminal shadowy organization known as the Order of Death, and that they have agreed to aid each other on their respective missions and goals, which will soon be able to benefit them in a long-term plans and in a long-term mission as well. The other members were very skeptical as the others began to tell the leader of the Space Sisters that the operation must never become ruined and it must never become undone, despite the circumstances, as they all agreed to that it will soon actually help them to benefit from their long-term plans and from their common interests as well. And it'll help them use the Universal Magic Heroes and the Intergalactic Coalition of the Four Nation Hunters as nothing but pawns, and that they learned the hard way that their abilities in thwarting the operation and the long-term plans can never happen again, and that Universal Magical must never be underestimated, as she is her only number one target for her to finish, as she told the other members, as the other members agreed to that as well. On the 27th of October, the leader of the Space Sisters began conducting a sinister dark ritual with the dark energy spell of the ultimate power that was able to find in an ancient sinister cave with one dark druid, one dark witch, and one dark faithful, where they began exactly literally draining its power source and merging and infusing with it, and where they became all powerful and totally too dangerous as well, as the leader of the Space Sisters realized that they might need to find a way to use the United Heroes as pawns in order to further their long-term plans and their goals, and that she has a proper sinister way in order to use it to advantage as well. On the 28th of November, the leader of the Space Sisters began to reconvene with the other members on an ancient, powerful, shadowy cave, this time in their dark holographic figures, where they all exactly spoke about their plans and about their future plans, so using the United Heroes as bait, and they managed to come up with a solution in order to use them as successful pawns to further their plans and their goals in the process as well, and they all agreed to that. Between December and January, the United Heroes were able to prevent a powerful attack from the superhumans who were quietly attacking the aliens from the rogue alien from the alien jungles and planets and worlds, which were able to do in both months, but the one able to unnotice that the attack was orchestrated and that it was planned by a sinister force of evil known as the Space Sisters, who wanted to use it to further their plans and their own goals in the process as well. On the 10th of February, the Space Sisters began to reconvene on the same cave, this time on the same cave, and this time on the shadowy holographic of themselves in order to conceal their identities, and they were able to speak about their plans and about their goals. Now that everything else is beginning taking place, they can further their soul goal and their soul plans to conquering the entire sacred magic universe and the magical worlds and the known universe, and ruling and manipulating the sacred dark magical worlds, the sacred dark magical wars of magic, so that they can become the permanent rulers of the sacred magic universe and the known universe in the process, and that they'll have unlimited power and greater resources in the process of this goal and in the process of this goal and of this dream, and that they'll exterminate the Universal Magic Heroes and Universal Magic Girl and the 4-Nation Hunters in the process as well, which will make them extremely immortal and extremely dangerous as well, as they all agreed it's time to begin the actual plan as well. Despite this, guys, the Space Sisters are devious, powerful, manipulative, dark witches who have lived throughout the sacred universe, throughout the sacred magic universe for all times, who have lived throughout the sacred magic universe throughout the ancient times and throughout the ancient centuries. They are very, very well known, and some of them are quietly unknown, and the others are very quietly devious, and some of them are very merciless. Others are very powerful, others are less powerful than the others. Some of them are even ruthless, merciless, heartless. Others of them have a heart. Some of the other Space Sisters do have compassion and a heart. The others of them don't even have an exception of a heart. The leader who leads the Space Sisters of the Dark Witches is very heartless and completely devoted to the mission and to the goal, and completely merciless and very, very powerful. She bears divine infinite dark magic and powers and greater abilities, which makes her exceptionally dangerous and very powerful. And she bears and wields a powerful dark magical staff of magic, which she used to conduct sinister rituals and powerful magical rituals for her plans, to further the plans of her goal and of her sinister society of dark witches as well in the process. Despite this, the Space Sisters are very ambitious and are very cruel, and are very, very, some of them are very cruel, some of them are very compassionate, some of them are very well driven to their magic and to their purpose and to their mission. Others of them are very, very well respected. Some of them are very, very compassionate, loving, and kind. The others of them are driven by power, literally driven by power and by darkness, willing to obtain power and darkness at the same time in order for them to become powerful and very, very, very ancient. They were able to form a very powerful ancient alliance with the ancient rogue evil 4-Nation Hunter known as a Fallen during the ancient times, and they're still able to maintain contact with him in order to further their plans and their own goal and his soul goals and plans in the process. Despite this, they are solely extremely immortal, very resourceful, very, very 12th level intellect, smart and extremely intelligent, resilient, persistent, very clever. Their powers are teleportation, telekinesis, mind controlling, magnetic repulsion, the power of creating dark magic orbs in order to find out the truth and everything else, mind controlling, hypnosis, mind controlling and hypnosis in order to hypnotize. They can exactly do that. And the power of flight and the power of levitation, the power of converging dark magic with science and combining it all together in one. Each space sister are known as the Dark Witches, are very gifted with dark magic, very crafty with the dark arts, with dark magic and shadow energy, very gifted with the power of infusing themselves with shadow energy, and they're extremely immortal, very ancient, less very ancient, and very powerful. Throughout sacred magic's history, the fairies of the entire sacred magic universe and of the Four Nation Hunters and of some of the Four Nation Hunters of the magic universe know about the Space Sisters, that they are very sinister, dark witches who are very ambitious and very evil and very dreadfully evil and very, very powerful, and that there's some of them who have changed their ways and have defected to becoming fairies. Some of them are becoming rather normal witches. Others of them have become rather powerful, dark, evil, dark space witches, and some of them have remained the same throughout the following centuries and throughout the ancient time. The Four Nation Hunters have learned the hard way that the Space Sisters are very powerful and are very, very, very gifted in dark magic and exceptionally very, very dangerous in dark magic and in shadow energy, which makes them extremely dangerous and very powerful. And they've learned that they can never be defeated, but they can be defeated, but they can only be defeated for a brief period of time. The Space Sisters are very crafty with creating dark holographic shadows of themselves in order to conceal their identities and creating powerful supernatural projections of themselves in order to conceal their identities of themselves in order to speak to their associates and their rightful associates and their partners in full secrecy. Very good in maintaining the base of operation as well as a central headquarters, which is a powerful dark world of a dark magical planet of a dark world, magical many dark worlds and many dark worlds and magical planets that are under their sole control, that the leader of the Space Sisters has managed to control and managed to extract all its minerals and resources in one fell swoop, due to her sisters aiding her to conducting sinister dark rituals to further their long-term plans and their goals. They solely believe that they are destined to rule the sacred magic universe and the rest of the known universe and the rest of the known universe and the rest of the sacred magical worlds and the sacred dark worlds of magic, so that they can become and remain the sole rulers of the sacred magic universe and of the sacred world and of the sacred universe and of the known universe in the process, so that they can remain the queens of the entire sacred magic universe. They are so obsessed with ruling the sacred magical worlds and the known magical colleges and the rest of the magical kingdoms of the sacred magic universe, so that they can remain the most powerful beings and the ancient beings of all ancient time. Despite this, during the following centuries, they came to respect the original Lord of Magic, as they also helped him remain in power and in control. And throughout the following ancient centuries of times, they managed to gain a powerful, formidable group of immortal followers of dark magic users, immortal followers of dark magic users known as the Dark Druids, the Dark Witches, and the Dark Faithful, who began becoming the extreme powerful immortal followers and began exactly following them as their great servants. The dark magic users known as the Dark Druids and the Dark Witches and the Dark Faithful had began following the Space Sisters known as the Dark Witches for centuries and during the ancient times. Even now, they still exactly follow them, and they're also under their current leadership. The Space Sisters are very good and are very good in dark combat magic and are very good in creating dark illusions, broadcasting powerful dark magical powers and abilities and sinister magical powers and abilities in controlling magical schools, powers and worlds and planets and abilities. Very devious. They learned the hard way that the Universal Magic Heroes and Universal Magic Girl and the Four Nation Hunters of the Intergalactic Coalition can never be underestimated, especially due to their interference in thwarting their plans and the long-term plans in the present. And they saw that never again it would never happen, especially that the leader of the Space Sisters knows exactly what they're dealing with. They even form powerful shadowy alliances with the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders, and with other evil dark warlocks and dark druids and dark witches and dark wizards, in order for them to join forces with them and to remain as a shadowy associates for them, to give them resources and powerful technology. In return, they provide them with ancient, powerful, mythical knowledge and research in order for them to benefit from their goals as well. And the leader of the Space Sisters managed to form a very ancient alliance with the Order of Death, which is an ancient shadowy organization that's quietly founded and led by the new Lord of Magic, known as Lord Clay, who have decided to become partners to their goals. They've decided to become partners to aid each other on their respective goals and their respective missions as well. Despite this, the leader of the Space Sisters and the rest of the other Space Sisters are very devious, very powerful, extremely immortal, due to the law of gravity, they believe that they are destined to remain the sole rulers of the magic universe and are willing to do whatever it takes to remain the sole rulers of the magic universe in a process. Very gifted in summoning monsters, creatures, and ancient beings, and especially summoning a powerful ancient monster of a being known as a monster statue, using it to conduct serious, sinister, dark rituals that can only be used to extract magical powers and abilities from dark magical creatures such as dark warlocks and light druids and witches and faithful and fairy witches and formation hunters in order for them to further their ultimate plans and their goals. Despite this, they are very exceptionally immortal, very 12th level intellect, extremely intelligent, very good with merging themselves with nature, and very good adapting and highly evolving, very devious and extremely merciless and ruthless and very cunning and very manipulative. Over the following centuries of the sacred magical wars that have been manipulated is because of the Space Sisters who have been orchestrating and manipulating the wars and the battles to their advantage so that they can further their own goals and their own interests in the process. And it's due to their ambition that makes them dangerous and very powerful. And the Formation Hunters have learned the hard way that the Space Sisters are very devious and are very ancient and are very too dangerous not to be underestimated. Very powerful. And the Space Sisters have learned that the universal heroes, including their abilities, including their operation and their long-term plans, are too dangerous not to underestimate them, and that they saw that it will never happen again. They have powerful, shadowy associates, shadowy, mysterious allies, and very powerful criminals who aid them on their respective goals, which they communicate in a very different way, rather to see each other on face to face, and they aid each other in their respective missions and goals, and they help other sinister, powerful, ancient organizations to further their own goals and their own plans, which could soon benefit them in the process as well. Well, guys, that's it for today's episode. The episode today are the Space Sisters, who are a very dangerous group of dark witches with the sole plan and goal to conquer the entire sacred magic universe and the entire known magical worlds and the known worlds and the known universe and the sacred world and the sacred universe in the process. I hope you have a very wonderful, blessed day. I appreciate your support. Continue to like and subscribe as well. Love it. Please continue to like and subscribe. Have a blessed, wonderful day. Stay safe and stay happy. Enjoy yourself and may God bless you. Truly grateful for your support, guys. Stay safe and stay happy and love yourself and always be grateful and love God with all your heart and stay safe and stay happy. And appreciate your support. Keep liking and keep subscribing. Have a blessed day. Stay safe and be happy. Bye. See you tomorrow. Bye.